What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 1 of Out of the Network podcast, Out of the Ring Network podcast. My name is Chris, and joining me today will be my partner in crime, Mr. Wannabe Beast Incarnate, AJ. Go ahead and say hello.
Shut up, Chris. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching this edition of the Out of the Ring Network podcast. And we'll have plenty of things to talk to you guys about for this podcast. Chris, What's our first thing that we want to talk about?
All right. Well, since this is our first podcast, I thought we'd let people know a little bit about our history when it comes to wrestling. So I'll go first. I started watching wrestling, not to make this long and boring, but I started watching wrestling back in the late 80s, early 90s. I actually hated wrestling initially because I always thought that it took off cartoons, which sounds stupid, but cartoons used to go off at 11 o'clock, and then wrestling came on, so I hated it because I thought they stopped cartoons for it, and then I started watching it one day because I'm like, why would you stop my cartoons for this? And then I got hooked. So, and that's when I've been watching it ever since. What about you?
Wait a minute, you're that old?
Yes, I'm that old, you jerk.
Started watching since I was a little kid, probably around 8 or 9. That was back in the Attitude Era, which has been great. Now, for me, I've been to going on 6 WrestleManias, going to 22, 23, 24. Crap, that's a lot. 29, 32, now 30, or 31, 32. So, but yeah, it's been a long, crazy road. Watched WCW, didn't care for it. I became a very delinquent child when it came to wrestling. Always practice wrestling, and so yeah, I had to stop watching wrestling for a while until back in early 2000s. So that's when I got back into it, which has been great.
You know what's funny? A certain somebody will probably kill me to tell the full story, but basically, her and her sister used to watch wrestling until their parents made them stop because one of them told off a teacher and basically told them to suck it.
Wow.
And so what'd you say?
I'm sorry, but I did that to my mom.
Okay, you know what? You're an evil child, so whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so we're enough with the personal history and stuff like that. First thing I'm gonna go over is give you a raw rundown. I'll try to do this every week that we do this, but Raw has been so terrible that I might not be able to suffer through it. So, just going off of this past week's Monday Night Raw, it opened with Roman Reigns coming out and calling out Brock Lesnar. Out come Chris Jericho. Him and Chris Jericho have a conversation back and forth, and then out comes the League of Nations, which I think is the worst faction ever. And that section was boring, so forget that. Next was a match between Roman Reigns and Rusev. Roman Reigns won. That match was boring. Next, after that was 2 Divas matches. No one cares. Next was New Day. You know, New Day, they've been really carrying Raw for like the past 6-7 months. Although for me, they're kind of running a little bit stale because I think Vince is going to end up killing their gimmick. But New Day won their match. I don't even remember who they fought, so that should tell you something right there. Next.
Before you go on to next, see, you're going to always root for the New Day because they're the first all-black stable in a long time. Sorry, but you're going to root for them.
Yeah, I am, but
because New Day sucks.
I won't be able to say that they're flawed or they're running a little bit stale. Yes, I'm going to root for them because they're one of the first all-black stables since what? The Nation of Domination? So, yeah, I'm going to root for them, but I can admit when they're stale. So, if they're getting stale for me, they're getting stale for me. But anyway.
The best thing about them is Xavier Woods. Like Big E, his dancing needs to die. I'm sorry.
You don't like the booty dance?
I do not like the booty dance. No. It's horrible. It's terrifying to watch. Makes me want to turn the channel.
That's just your personal opinion, but that's fine. If Brock Lesnar was doing the booty dance, you'd be all into it.
I would turn the TV all the way up.
Yeah, that's disturbing. Well, in any case, Raw ends the night with a confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns during the highlight reel. Then out comes the League of Nations. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns clear the ring. Then after that, Roman Reigns spears Brock Lesnar. And then the night ends with the Wyatt family coming out and attacking everybody, including Brock Lesnar. So, yeah, as far as Raw goes, Raw sucks just like it always does. Although you'd think that they try harder just because of the fact that it's the Raw before the pay-per-view. That's what's supposed to be the show to sell the event. And, of course, it still sucks. Which drives me insane.
You think about it. The way that it ended was the way to set up the Royal Rumble match. Like, it's simple as that. Like, you had Bray Wyatt attacking Brock Lesnar, which from there, that's what's going to happen at the Royal Rumble. Bray or the Wyatts are going to eliminate Brock Lesnar, and it's going to be horrible. Like, that's going to be one of the matches, one of the main cards on for WrestleMania. Guarantee you. Watch. Guarantee it.
Well, yeah, you're probably right. We'll see. But, I mean, we'll get to our predictions later on what we think is going to happen at the Royal Rumble. But my whole point with Monday Night Raw is just that, and even when it comes to Bray Wyatt, like I said, we'll go over Royal Rumble later. But just as far as from the Raw standpoint, Bray Wyatt has been, like, just out there for no reason, just doing whatever. So for them to now all of a sudden he's attacking everybody. He's attacking, not only is he attacking Roman Reigns, they're bringing that whole thing back up. Now they're having him attack Brock Lesnar, so it makes it like he's a viable person for the Royal Rumble. It's like you should have built that up a while ago. Them just starting that now is kind of useless to me. But whatever, it's Raw. Of course, it sucks, and they do stuff too fast for my taste. So we'll move on from Raw. The next thing we're going to talk about is NXT Chicago. Now, this happened. We actually went on, what was it, Saturday?
Yes, it was Saturday.
Yeah,
Saturday, the 1 p.m. showing because the 7 o'clock sold out before they even went on sale.
Yeah, so just, you know what? And since you brought it up, that actually brings up the first part of the thing that I didn't like about this whole NXT experience was buying tickets. Now, it's one thing for NXT. I understand, like, NXT is a new hot thing, so the tickets are going to sell. But to put that show in a venue that small so that the tickets sell out within 30 seconds is ridiculous. And yeah, they added a second show, which was the matinee show that we were able to go to, but it shouldn't even came to that. They should have just put it in a venue that was big enough so people could go just if they wanted to go. Your thoughts?
The venue was horrible. Like, there was no heating. There was no. I was frozen from standing outside for the last 3 hours right before the show. That was horrible. It was cool to have Finn Balor come out though and give us all 2 suites, run through the crowd, say hey, take pictures, watch someone get super kicked in the middle of the street, which we'll talk about. But that whole experience leading up to the show wasn't the best. The show itself was good. It was a good card. Favorite match of the night was probably Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. That was a really great match. And then you had all titles on the line, which I think for house shows is the most ridiculous, stupidest thing that you could do because no title is going to change on a house show. It is ridiculous. But the venue itself, for how small it was, they could have put it in the Rosemont. They could have put it a little bit somewhere bigger. They didn't need to do the Allstate, but somewhere bigger would have been a lot beneficial. That's what I think.
Yeah, the fact that I had to wear my hoodie the entire time because the inside of the venue was so cold that you couldn't take it off. That was ridiculous. And I don't mean to harp and just be all negative about the show, because I really like the show. Like, this was my second NXT event. I went to Florida last year, and so I went to an NXT event in Cocoa, Florida, at a it was a National Guard base, and that event, because they're always in Florida. That event, you could walk up and buy tickets and just walk in and sit in the seat. It was way simpler. Whereas this was just a madhouse. Us being outside for that long, in order to get in, and getting in late because they couldn't figure out what was wrong with the heat. That's ridiculous. The other big problem I had was the seating itself. Now, I don't know about where you were sitting at, but where I was sitting at, the seats were the folding chairs were so close together that people ended up standing on the back wall because you couldn't sit down, because there's no space for you to actually move your legs. So if you're sitting, like if I'm sitting here, there's no way in the world somebody could sit really in front of me, because there's no space in between, and I have to push the seat forward. So that was the two biggest things that I had, issues that I had with it was it was cold, like really cold, and the seating was terrible, especially considering I spent $80 on those tickets. So, but the actual event itself, I actually did like the match was good. I'd agree with you with the Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. That was the best match. So Finn Balor doing the whole Bullet Club thing, like with the shots and the Too Sweet. That he was playing that card a lot, and people were eating it up.
Wait, do you think from the rumors that I've read on that he was playing more of a heel than a face? Because I feel like he was just playing kayfabe and just playing along with the crowd versus no heel, no face. He was just in the middle, kind of like how Brock Lesnar is.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that one, because I read that too, that he was playing more of a heel. That wasn't Finn Balor as a heel. That was Finn Balor playing to the crowd that he knew was all about the Bullet Club, because everybody heard about the people from New Japan Pro Wrestling that came over, and everybody's figuring that they're going to rebuild the Bullet Club here, although the Bullet Club is actually is owned by New Japan Pro Wrestling. So yeah, everybody knows about it. So he was just playing to that, and everybody was, like I said, was eating it up. And the fact that when he was walking down the street, and everybody was giving him the Too Sweet and doing this and dabbing him with that, it was like you knew everybody knew about it. So he was just playing. He was just playing to it, and everybody enjoyed it, and it was a good match. You had people going for Sami Zayn, you had people going for Finn Balor. Really, it seemed like everybody was going for both.
I got, because I was third row from the front, over on the opposite side of where camera would normally be. And I got it to a point where I was front row for most of the show, which was great. No one showed up, got in their seats. We just stayed there pretty much the whole way. But like when Finn Balor came out, when he does his running drop kick on the rail guard, holy crap, I thought he was going to accidentally jump over and land right in my lap. I was scared.
Yeah, and you didn't mention that you got a little close and personal with Bayley there.
Yeah, Bayley. She comes, she likes to play with the crowd, she hugs her fans. But after her title victory, she decided to come, and for some reason, everyone wanted to come to my corner where I was at. My buddy that I was with while Bayley was there, almost getting into a fight, which is pretty funny, because everyone wanted to get so close to Bayley, and yeah, as soon as she saw the camera right in her face from my phone, she was like, "I got to get out of here."
Yeah, that when I saw the video when you showed me, it was actually a cool shot, but it was a little close. Like, I don't know how she just didn't just knock your hand away. So that was kind of weird. But overall, for the event, minus the hiccups with the heating and the seating, those are some big hiccups. But minus those, I actually think the event was really fun. The crowd was into it. The crowd had their chants. The one chant where the guys yelled out, "Hug me, Bailey," and she turned like, "Who said that?" And everybody started chanting, "Hug that guy." And she actually stopped the match in order to hug him.
She was like, "Time out, time out." And Alexa Bliss was so playing off the crowd for the hatred. Like she was like, "Come on, this is a waste of time." That was pretty funny.
Yeah. So they definitely know how to play to the crowd for a small venue. Now, a lot of that stuff they can't do on the main roster. So they'll probably have to adjust if any of these are like when Bailey or Finn Balor or Sami Zayn, if any of these go to the main roster, they'll have to adjust. We'll stop right there for the NXT Chicago event.